The greatest misconception about Metallica is that we're very talented.
That we're intelligent?
That we're heavy metal? No.
That we mean well?
That we're still young?
That we have integrity?
That we're still young and in good shape? And that we still have our ability to grow long hair?
Yeah, and I also think people think we used to hang out or like live together, or like hang out in like a Metallica compound or something, you know. We actually do vacation separately and things like that, shower separately, you know.
See, back then when this whole haircut thing, it wasn't that we actually got it cut, it fell out, you know, which happens to most of us by the time you get as old as we are.
Actually, we have really, really high eyebrows and really low foreheads. What are the best and worst things about being in a band like Metallica?
I think the best thing about being in Metallica is freedom. Metallica to me means freedom. To do what you want to do musically, to experiment and to go all over the map and have fun with it.
One of the best things is just point blank, the music. The music that we create and play together is just so powerful and so magical that so many things sprout from that. You know, so many endeavors and plans and visions and goals and inspirations and messages. I mean, you know, I just have to say, just the capability that we have to make music together and the music that we make is so strong. And to me, I mean, that's so powerful, because from the music we make, I mean, so many good things come from it. I mean, it's too much to list.
About the worst thing about being in Metallica, you're hard pressed to find an answer, because everything is pretty cool. There really is nothing to complain or whine about.
Except jet lag and hangovers.
Oh, you know.
The worst thing is, I guess, 9 a.m. In Frankfurt, waiting for your luggage. People, you know, after no sleep, people are hounding you for pictures and autographs.
You'll be eating your food and someone will come up and hit you up for an autograph. And sometimes they're pretty relentless, so, you know, can't we just eat, man?
But, you know, and I also find people that whine about, you know, when they're in successful rock bands, to just be slapped. So we're trying not to whine too much. I would say the hardest thing for me is just when we travel far away from the west coast of San Francisco, is being away from my kids. And that, you know, but other than that, it's all pretty good.
The band formed in LA and right around the glam era, and getting gigs was somewhat difficult. We got a lot of gigs, but getting a following down there was tough, because our music was pretty raw and we weren't into a big look or anything. And as soon as we played some shows up in San Francisco, we traveled up there. Brian Slagle with Metal Blades Records was putting on concert or little small club gigs. You know, here's some metal bands from LA, here's some metal bands from Frisco, like swapping them, getting them, like traveling a bit. We knew right away that Frisco was the place for us. They were there for the music and not the look. Enter Sandman, Millstone or Milestone? Well, I would say Milestone, because I never get sick of playing the song. I don't really particularly like rehearsing the song, but it's great to have a song like that everyone really identifies as your, you know, your Freebird or your Paranoid, you know. So it's really cool to have the song that people know. Well, they don't know we're going to play it, but we'll probably play it at the show. You know,
you go to like a Laker game or a sporting event, you know, and you're going to hear that song. It's similar to like with, you know, Queen, like "We Will Rock You" or something like that. It's such a classic song, and you're going to hear it. And I'm sure that James and the boys are really proud of that, because it takes a lot to achieve that. So more power to you.
Well, how many times have I been injured? Well, there's lots of scars. I'm covering them up with tattoos, but wow. Well, let's see. On the Aussie tour, when we first had the Aussie tour on Puppets, broke my wrist, and then double compound fracture, broke my arm before the Garage Days EP. Injured my back on, let's see, it was Summer Sanitarium, the first one, with Korn, Kid Rock.
Does jet ski?
Yeah, jet ski, hammered my back. Then the next Summer Sanitarium, broke 3 ribs at Kid Rock's dirt bike track. Gotta stay away from that guy. Yeah, but the show went on every time. I only had to cancel a couple shows, to get casts into, but we always made up shows. So we're pretty proud of keeping our touring record intact. An 18-year-old you offering yourself advice.
Interesting.
And you would listen to it?
Well, exactly. I mean, for me, I think that it's very important for young people to understand and learn about different cultures, maybe learn about different types of music, whether it's classical or whatever. I think that that's really important creatively. It helps. And, I like that some of these new young bands that are starting to come up now are really, really getting into their instrument, and it seems like they're practicing a lot and they're getting it down, and that's pretty inspiring.
Yeah, I would say offer myself that no matter what's going on in my life or how much struggle or pain is going on, that I'm not the first one to feel that ever, and you're not alone. There's always some kind of sanctuary or help for whatever you're going through.
So what we were touring pretty much straight through from 03 to late 04 for about a year and a half, and then most of 05 we basically took off. We just, we'd been going close to 3 years in a row with the making of the St. Anger record and so on, so we needed some time to chill at home. We got offered to play with the Rolling Stones in San Francisco, which was just so awesome because it's hometown and it's the Stones, and it's probably the only band that we hadn't played with yet that we really wanted to, that are part of the big hero list. And so we got together in November and played a couple shows with them, and that kind of brought all of us back into Metallica mode again of playing and rehearsing. And as soon as we were done with that, we basically started writing and prepping for the next record, and that's what we've been doing the last 6 months. I would say based on the last 25 years of Metallica, there's a fairly good chance that we'll go on a mammoth tour after the next record comes out. I mean, we've certainly scaled it down a little bit, or at least in terms of the scheduling, and try to pay more attention to being home with the kids and not being away for too long at a time. So the legs, as they are called, are a little shorter than they used to be. But and I don't know if we're going to play 5 shows in North Dakota like we did in up through the 80s and 90s. But it's pretty safe to say that we'll go out and play where our fans are, and obviously we want to do that.
Well, the new album, working with Rick Rubin, who has worked from, he's done Slayer, Slipknot to Johnny Cash,
Beastie Boys, Neil Diamond. Yeah.
He's done it all, and he's got a really a good track record. He's got a good attitude, so something's going right. And it was about time to try some new blood out in that area. Bob Rock, an amazing fifth member, through a lot of our times, and almost knew us too well. We needed someone else to kind of give us something else. But we're just writing a lot. Rob's contributing a lot already, and feeling really good about what we've got.
It's much more like all the early records where we're actually we have, a separation between the writing process and the recording process. St. Anger was really an experiment in not bringing any ideas in, and basically just writing on the floor as we were recording it, and kind of piecing things together and trying to maintain a kind of an impulse and a kind of a momentary dynamic, a spontaneity, and we really needed to try that because we felt we were so stuck with the other process. But now we've gotten that out of our system, and we're kind of back to 6 months of writing songs and riff tapes and all that type of stuff, which we did on the first 9 or 10 records. And the stuff is heavy, it's aggressive, it's probably a little more melodic than the Saint Anger stuff, and a little more varied. Where Saint Anger was really just about pummeling and kind of beating the listener up with the intensity of the music. This is has a little broader range to it.
For me, I know that the music just kind of fuels me up. There's a lot of adrenaline that kind of kicks in, a lot of dynamics too. I know that lately we've been really fine-tuning a lot of our songs for live, and that makes it that much more exciting, that much more comfortable. So we're really excited about what we're going to be doing, coming up here with these next batch of shows we're going to be doing. But for me, it's just like an injection of pure energy, and it kind of takes you to a different place, and you really kind of find yourself stepping up. And that's the great thing about Metallica's music and being able to perform that stuff live. It's a rush.
Playing live has always been the reason there is a Metallica. We didn't want to have regular jobs. This was going to be our job. Writing some songs is great, but going and playing live, that's how we built our fan base. That's how we, built up our chops. That's how we bonded. That's how we gained our fan base. And really playing live is just us experiencing the music right there, and I think the great thing about playing live is being in the moment and being completely screw something up. It's not the end of the world. You're up there, you're alive, things are okay.